A with Jason Zander, South Hall B with Jared Spataro, West Hall.
Stop. Do this again in a minute. Hang on. Hold that thought. Right.
You don't understand. Like, we've already started recording on our end, so this is our podcast live.
What?
So,
are we on Twitch?
This is streamed live right now on Periscope.
Yeah, we should just fade in from here. It'll be fine.
Nice.
Right. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Morgan, Microsoft MVP and Community Reporter at Microsoft Ignite 2019. I'm joined today by some Microsoft podcast royalty. I don't know which is which, but it's Patch and Switch.
Hey, everybody. Royalty?
I know.
Which one of you is which?
Say that.
To Queen and Commonwealth, man. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do.
Which one is Switch?
It's honestly, we don't know. It's more of a
Okay.
quantum question.
It is quantum.
So it varies, because when you think it's one, it's the other. When you think it's the other one, it's the first one you thought.
No, I have plausibility. I like it.
Right. That's basically it. Yes. It's for complete indemnity for any kind of thing that happens to go on.
It's really insurance.
Yeah. I don't feel bad not knowing. That's good.
Nice.
So you guys run the Patch and Switch podcast. For everyone, like, loads of people know what that is. Loads of people follow you. Like, for anyone
What?
coming to this,
Wait,
well, I think it's true anyway. Like,
Loads of people.
loads.
Last time we counted, I think there were 12 subscribers or something.
Oh, you know. So for everyone else, how would you describe what you do on that podcast?
I call it the Seinfeld of IT podcasts. It's essentially an IT podcast where we pretty much talk about nothing.
Yeah, it's about that.
No, what it, I mean, we've been 7 years.
7 years that's been around, which is crazy.
The podcast was started basically as a proof of concept that, look, you can do something and talk, to this IT audience as Microsoft people and be genuine. And then
let's be clear,
spiraled out of control from there.
You can do this with zero budget. The only budget that we got for Patch and Switch was the initial seed funding, which was done by a pass the hat to be able to make a graphic. And we don't even own the actual rasterized version of that graphic. We actually only just have the JPEG, and that's it. Yep. That's the level of support that we have right now.
But basically, it's just a couple of real IT guys who are talking to the rest of the IT pros out there. And we could be one day having an in-depth conversation on cloud backup of servers, to talking about what's happening, securing your home networks, to beer and what other tangents we go off on, because it's really no script. It's as if you turn on a camera and a microphone when the two of us are sitting around having coffee, as we are now, or other beverages in the evening. Yeah, and that's really what it is.
Yeah, so basically we try to make it as approachable to as many different types of IT folks that are out there. Doesn't matter if your allegiance is on the database side, if it's in identity, or if it's in cloud computing or on-premises stuff. It's a lot of self-deprecating humor, but it's also just simply a matter of bringing the community as a whole together to be able to celebrate working inside of IT.
Got it. Yeah, totally makes sense. And that's really interesting, because I know you more from the Ignite side, because I'm a developer, right? Non-IT pro. So I know you as the, I know, like, so I listen to you. I know.
How did we get on this?
I thought, get out of here. This is done.
We're done. Yeah. So I know you as the lead up to Ignite people, like the friendly face for new attendees to Ignite, because that's the thing you do as well, right? You do this Ignite lead up stuff. You've done videos. You get the bag reveal stuff. So you're kind of on the inside, right? So you get all the new stuff. So you know what's happening, and kind of that's where I know you people from, which is really interesting.
It's a lot of fun. It's something we get to do. We're really lucky to get the support, and then of course unlock doors and other things so that we can get a hold of the bag. Yeah. But we love doing it because we are both extremely passionate about the community. We're extremely passionate about the event itself. We probably have a combined 40 to 50 years of experience attending these events.
Now you just making me old. Yeah.
I know. Well, we're both old. If you combine the amount of time that we've done TechEd, the Europe events, TechEds around the world, and now Ignite. So it's a lot of fun for us, and it's making sure that people enjoy the conference as much as we do is something that's very important to us, because it can be very intimidating, and especially now that the event has grown in size, having a voice that, look, we've been there, we understand, and these are the tips and tricks that we can offer you so that you can have a successful experience. And I think the folks on the event side want that for our attendees as well. So they're happy to, throw an email or two our way with little bits of information, and we can figure out the rest.
Yeah, we do sort of pass the video content and tweets and ideas through legal team to make sure that there's no liability, but it's mostly a guerrilla effort. But I do definitely echo the whole concept of we're there to help humanize this ginormous event, because we were there before when we were intimidated by the size. And it's very good to have people like, we're walking the hallway. You're more than welcome to come up and have a chat with us.
Please do.
Yeah, please do, because it's nice to talk to people. Please don't be offended if we do like a fist bump or an elbow as opposed to a handshake, because we meet a lot of people. But at the same time, we love hearing people chat with us, tell us their stories, and talk about how potentially we help them out with the Ignite experience overall.
Okay. So let's talk about Ignite then, because if you've never been to Ignite before, it's big. It's really big. And I think that's like, you don't get that until you're there, really. I don't think. Like, it's, in some ways it's like lots of other conferences, but in lots of ways it's not really, is it? Everything takes a long time. And I know, like, I've done this a couple of times asking people for their tips and things like that. And people always say, like, plan your day, plan your event. But like, it's that size, I think, as well. I don't know what you think, like that, the whole concept of like, everything is so big. Everything takes a long time to get anywhere, to do anything. Lunch takes a long time because there's so many people. Shuttles take a long time. Like, and there's things that have happened, but for new people coming in, I think that can be like a bit scary. I don't know what you think, and
it can be, but you don't need to let it be that way. Obviously, having a plan, and it's something that we do. We talk about in the podcast, especially this year. We haven't really done a schedule planning video this year because the schedule builder just didn't fit into our travel schedule.
Our own schedules.
But having a plan going in is important. More important is having the flexibility to adjust that plan when necessary. So I always recommend to have a few key things that you absolutely positively must do that day. We talk about this. We actually, and we'd like to invite you, if you're watching this video and you want to come in on Sunday, 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. over in the West Hall, just have a look at your app. You'll see Microsoft Ignite 101. Which is a session that Rick and I are going to do, which kind of helps those who are coming in get adapted to it. And we bring in a bunch of tips and tricks and self-care in that. But having a plan is important. Having flexibility to adjust that plan is even more important.
More important than that, yeah.
Because look, yes, it is big, but you shouldn't let the size of the event intimidate you, because you're there to learn.
Yeah.
And you're there to get the information. You're there to have the interaction. One of the coolest things is the person sitting next to you is probably one of the coolest people that you want to talk to in every single session that you go to. It's not just the guy on stage. It's not just that we have all of the engineering folks that are on the stands, and that you've got all of our partners in Expo, and really cool things like mechanics and Microsoft Ignite Live and all the the glitz and the glamour that goes on. It's also the people that you're sitting next to on the bus, or you're sitting next to at lunch. So it's really only intimidating if you allow it to be. And we're lucky we can fake being extroverts.
Yes.
Because we're very much introverted people. You'll see that, at certain points in time, we'll just kind of, I make him remove his hat and glasses so that we can walk through the lobby, because nobody recognizes me on my own. It's always when I'm with him. So if he takes the hat and glasses off, we're able to walk through the lobby and get in the elevator and get away, just because sometimes we're just done. But you need to open yourself up, because what this event and previous events, whether they be called Ignite or TechEd, have done for me personally in my career, and I know Rick for his career, it's been invaluable. We've been able to, I've personally been able to solve problems that I've had happening at my day job by just attending this event. And some of it wasn't just talking to Microsoft people; it was talking to other people who have lived through this. And so yeah, it's big, it's massive, but it's only as intimidating as you make it. And I know that's hard as kind of introverted people, but if you make the effort, it will pay dividends 100 times over. And you'll probably not recognize it right away. Sometimes you're lucky, somebody brings a problem, and you bring a problem to the engineer guy, and he opens up the code and he starts reading the code on the screen. He goes, oh yeah, there's your problem, right? But other times it's, wow, I remember when you're involved in some project, some troubleshooting something somewhere, and you heard you remember a story somebody told on the bus, or if you're sitting at a happy hour or just talking with somebody at lunch and you go, I remember that. I wonder if I have the guy's card, and you reach out and next thing you know, it's the shared stories.
But I'll just interject and add that the folks that put on Ignite, they're absolutely event professionals. They've been doing it for years, and they are very I hate to say this, it sounds so trite, but they're very data driven to know what is the optimal way with a good experience for the attendee to be able to try to deal with the food issue, to deal with the swag giving out issue, with the registration issue. They've been putting in places all these different little small behind the scenes helper things that you might not be aware of going into it, but then all of a sudden you realize, oh, my app is better for being able to tell me where to go, or if there's a lineup for the buses, or if I can even track when the next bus is going to be coming. That's some new functionality that's coming to that app this year.
Stuff, right? I noticed that on the app, like that you can now do literally directions from wherever you are to wherever you need to go, search by breakout session, and like that's such useful functionality. Like,
so the good thing is that we are good friends with the folks that do run the events. They do give us access to some pretty cool stuff ahead of time, so we can do our shows and do our quick little videos and that sort of stuff.
Quit giving away our secrets, man.
Well, it's part of making the thing a better experience. If it's all about making a better experience, it's what we're all about, is trying to make it easier for folks.
Yep. And actually on that, this is kind of good segue to like the really big day one thing, the big Satya Vision keynote, right? Because that's always that's the thing everyone wants to go and see. Everyone wants to kind of get the latest information, the latest stuff from Satya. And I think there've been some real efforts this year to make lots of different ways to consume that. Can you talk through some of those? Like, you probably know more than I do about what they are. So
information on this,
the inside scoop about the
pretty much.
Well, we just actually shot a video about this, so just go and watch the video.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll link to that. That's fine. That's good. I can do that.
So
wow.
So
that sounds like something I would say. See, everybody know that I'm not just the mean one. He is too.
So ultimately, it's always a challenge trying to fit 20, 30,000 odd folks inside of a room to be able to go off and to see and have a good experience with any kind of a keynote, whatever it happens to be. Everybody wants to go off and see the big show. And so one thing that's very interesting this year is we're actually making the recommendation that you actually will go to one of the larger other rooms you can go to, because there is going to be limited seating capacity in the way that the Vision keynote is going to be taking place this year. And if you are able to get in to be able to see that, awesome, you're going to have an awesome experience, but you will have a phenomenal experience if you're inside one of these other technical breakouts, technical keynote type rooms. But we've got some official verbiage that we could probably talk about, I think.
So the main Satya Vision keynote is going to take place in the hub.
Right.
And the hub is kind of the main expo area of Microsoft Ignite. It starts in the Hangout, which is a seated area with the big screens, where later in the week you'll be able to watch sessions. But every single monitor that is throughout the expo hall is going to be streaming the keynote, and there are limited seats for people who want to arrive early, who need to be in the room. You're going to have to arrive early. You're going to have to get to your shuttle early, get your breakfast early. You're going to need to arrive early to do that.
Early is like 6 a.m.
Well, buses don't start running till 6:30.
Correct.
There you go. Right. Okay. So first bus. Be on the first bus.
Doors to the main hub room, I don't believe open till 8 o'clock.
Wristbands will start being handed out at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
But as Rick mentioned, we're very much into the technical keynotes that are after, because one of the biggest challenges and it's a logistical thing. You have 20,000 people and you have to have a room that's big enough for 20,000 people. But the interesting thing about Ignite is that what we're known for is not just the big hall, and it's not just the big expo. It's the fact that we have a whole bunch of other rooms where we can fit a whole bunch of other people.
And a whole bunch of other keynotes simultaneously.
Exactly, to run a bunch of different sessions.
Right.
So you have to move those 20,000 people into these other places. So this time the thought is, what if we put everybody into those places ahead of time? Then we're not dealing with that, moving people around kind of a thing, and it gives them a better experience, because let's be honest, in a room of 20,000 people, unless you're on the first few rows, you're watching the thing on the monitors anyway, right? I mean, that's just the reality. We watch it on monitors anyway.
Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I was actually in a keynote room, unless I was behind the stage running a demo or something like that.
Exactly. So it really comes down to the technical keynotes, which are the sessions that immediately follow the Big Vision keynote. So if you're into kind of the applications, infrastructure, data and AI, you'll want to join Jason Sanders' keynote, and he's going to be in South Hall A. So that's in
the other building.
The other building, the South building.
Yeah.
In South Hall B, Gerald Spataro is going to be talking about modern workplace. So if you're into the modern workplace piece, what I love is what's happening in OCC West Hall F, because for the first time we're actually doing a security-driven keynote.
That's going to be cool, yeah.
So that's really awesome, and as I mentioned, that's in West Hall F, and then James Phillips doing a business app session in the West Hall in room 320, which is the Chopin Theater. For those of you who know it, otherwise you may see it. We'll have both names on it. But those are where you really want to go to have that experience. And when you get there a little bit early, there's some fun things that are happening before. I don't want to spoil it, but there's some fun things that are happening in each one of the rooms beforehand. Then they'll cut to the stream, and you'll be able to watch the stream of the keynote.
Yep. You might
be comfortable, be able to move around, get your breakfast, have your breakfast, and
after the keynote's done, the vision keynote's done, you're already in the right spot to be able to catch.
Yeah, you're not fighting everyone. It makes total sense. Get a good seat. Yeah. And actually, those technical keynotes, that's where you're going to get the detail. That's where you want to ask the questions. Nobody asks questions to Satya, right? There's like, that's
right. So, and Satya's keynote is driven as a vision keynote. It's to set the stage for the rest of the show.
Right.
And then these technical keynotes are the next level deep. Right. And that's where you're going to see a lot of the breaking news stuff. Mm-hmm. I know some of the pieces that, for instance, from my product side that are going to be shown are not actually going to be in the main vision keynote. They're actually going to be in the secondary piece. So that's where you want to be to learn about this stuff and to hear it firsthand. And it's also a better experience too, because you'll be able to, after the vision keynote's done, just run out real quick to the restroom. You're not dealing with 20,000 other people. Refresh your cup of coffee and go in and sit down for the next keynote. So and you can choose your option. Look, if you're not into being in the room for keynotes, and I know there's a lot of people who are like, look, I'd just as soon sit and watch it in my hotel room.
Yeah.
And that way I can get everything done, and then I can go jump over to the conference center after the keynote's done and start my day. There's an option for that as well.
Nothing like watching the vision keynote in your pajamas. It's a little awkward if you're actually in the hub, but from you're fine.
I've actually, it is really awkward when he's wearing pajamas in the hub. Don't do it again.
I won't. That's okay. I forgot where I was. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so easy now with the technology. It could be anywhere. It's just so easy to forget.
Well, and really, that's the cool thing about what Microsoft Ignite is doing this year, is that it's how do you want to consume the event? There are various personalities, and we talk about this in our 101 session, not to shamelessly plug it, but 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Sunday.
Yeah, in the West.
Please join us, particularly the morning session. There's not a lot of people signed up for that.
320, I think.
And we'll have to double check. I'll double check on the app. Anyway, sorry, shameless self-promotion. That's what I do. No, what it's giving you the choice. It's giving you that selection and the ability to look, how do I consume it? There's different personalities, there are different types of how I learn. I typically am not a big session goer. There are a few key sessions that I pick on my schedule every single year, and I will go to those. And I'm going to go see my buddy Ned talk more on careers, which is interesting because normally when I go see Ned, it's on the technical side. There's a couple of others that I'm going to go see to either support the speaker, or it's something that I need to learn and expand on because I'm still learning every single day. But I prefer to spend most of my time on roaming around the show floor. We actually dedicate a pretty good chunk of one of the last couple of days to actually go to the hub and actually go talk to partners and other ecosystems out there that are not Microsoft, so that we can learn and expand our knowledge as well, because we're IT folks at our heart too, and we want to look and see what's out there, what's a cool thing.
And that's a big part of Ignite. It's not just about the sessions. There's so much more to it than that. There's podcasts, you can go and watch them being recorded. There's all the stuff happening in the hub, the community zone stuff. Like there's so much other things. And actually you can't, I can't do 4 days of 12-hour sessions. Like I just can't. I don't have it in me.
And that's what they dedicate themselves to do. And that's I mean, hey, more power to you. If you're that style of a learner, then we have that for you as well, because we've got sessions running from the start of the day all the way to the end of the
From
day.
9 till 6 every day, I think.
And then if you wanted to take a break, you could go sit down somewhere and pop open your computer and you could stream a session from your computer. So however you want to consume the information that's there. And that's why I think, going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show here, is it's about how do you want to consume it, and you do it in your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I would let you finish your thoughts. That's all. I've had. He's good.
Wow, he's being very nice
You didn't
today.
know how long this would be, did you? You never warned us that this is a 5-minute podcast, because we're way over the 2-minute maximum for Twitter, just so you know.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just cut you out to say whatever I want you to say and just cut you.
I love that. That's been done before.
We do edit ourselves, and if you need a short version, we can do that. Absolutely.
No, it's totally fine. Absolutely. No, let's keep it long. So I tend to ask people, like, what do you do? What do you do at Ignite? What do you spend your time? What are your tips? But what do you see people doing that they should not be doing? What should you not be doing at Ignite?
That's a cool question.
That's good. That's good. I think along the vein, not to again build off of what he's been saying for the last 30 minutes or so, is not to is don't try to do everything. I mean, I know that you had a video out talking, I believe, with Jenny around the self-care options, and that's there. There's some really awesome things you can do. I cannot stress how important it is that you have to pace yourself. Don't try to do everything. You will over-conference and over-exhaust yourself. Obviously, things like rehydrate and eat and things like that, and take advantage of some of the wellness areas. We've got a light therapy room. Did you know that?
Yeah.
A light therapy room.
There's
we have prayer rooms, both for men and for women. We have quiet spaces just for people that need to be quiet. There's a whole other section on top of that inside the community zone. I think there's live animals of some kind that are going to be there at some point in time.
Yep,
I've asked emus for years, and they will not get me an emu. I don't know why.
Well, it probably has something to do with the incident in the moose, but
they're not supposed to talk about the moose incident.
Yeah, that's right.
Said you were going to bring
my
it
bad. Don't
I
bring the moose.
I will cut it out. I promise.
And then there's a whole wealth of different things that you can do. So don't try to do everything. Pace yourself and make sure you take time to self-care, self-preserve. That's not a word, is it? Self-preserve. Is it?
You've just made it up. If not,
Okay.
We can add it to
New word.
Wikipedia after the show.
Make a new T-shirt slogan. How about you, buddy? You got something?
Yeah, for me, don't spend all of your time learning about stuff that you do in your day job.
True. Good point.
Take it as an opportunity to expand and grow. Just this morning, I was reading through a social thread about somebody who's learned and done this big, massive upgrade and did it all by himself, and it wasn't, and the comment was, and that wasn't going above and beyond. And that's kind of true of how IT is, right? It's, you're no longer the superhero for doing things. You're the superhero when you change the business.
Mm-hmm.
And the best way to change the business is to figure out what are the things that you can do to grow and strengthen the business. So always branch out, always learn something that new. I will spend some time going and sitting in, and I work inside of the identity division, and I will go to identity sessions because there's content that I need to learn. But I will also go off and I will sit in on sessions or go have conversations with people about other technologies. I've done it where I knew I would at one point in time have to deal with a SQL server and not just let it sit in the corner and not touch it because I don't have the beard of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew and I learned some very, very basic SQL skills while I was there. So expand, go beyond what your comfort zone is. You don't have to do a ton of it. 1 or 2 sessions, something that might be intriguing you, go maybe sit and do a hands-on lab on something that you've just never seen before that you might have to deal with in the future. You can kind of read the tea leaves of the pointy-haired boss and where he's going in most places. So that's my biggest tip. So don't just stick in your wheelhouse. It's awesome to confirm your knowledge, but it's even better to grow your knowledge. And that's a key piece of this world that we're living in is being able to grow and expand.
Yeah, that's really good advice. Really, really good. All right. Gentlemen, thank you ever so much. This has been super useful, super interesting. Didn't go quite the way I wanted it, not quite the way I thought it was going to. Let me check myself. Quite the way I thought it was going to. But that's awesome that it I didn't really know what I was expecting. Really, I was a bit worried, but
That's pretty
it's-
typical of anybody running into us. I don't know
yeah,
what to expect, and it
is.
usually goes off the rails, but hopefully in a good way.
But it's been very good. It's been an honor. Like a couple of times I've checked myself because I thought I was watching like a video because I looked down and I can see you two and I was like, oh, well, what am I watching? Oh, no, I'm not watching. I need to concentrate and like, you know.
You're interacting. You're interacting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like
Definitely-
interactive YouTube. It's amazing.
I
Yeah.
want to do a shout out to if you do need to watch remotely, you're not able to be there, aka.ms/msignite live. That's going to be available all throughout the entire week. Even I heard for our Sunday, we are the test case for the MS 101. That if
so
you're
awesome.
traveling in, potentially you could watch us as you're landing the plane. If you're flying the plane, don't watch it. But if you're arriving on the plane, potentially you could actually see the MS 101s that are taking place as a test case for how that works. And then I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I've only ever seen you inside of your lovely little study with an array of different. Are those coffee mugs or those beer mugs?
They are coffee mugs. They are
Okay.
tea mugs, but yeah.
Yes, tea. Your tea mugs.
Tea.
So I'm looking forward to sitting down, having a tea and a chat with you, and you're actually going to be here at the across the pond.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. Thank you ever so much, and see you next week. And everyone else, we will see you next week at Ignite.
Bye. Come to Ignite 101.